This emergency meeting was called by an Agent George Bush of the Central Intelligence Agency. No record of the meeting or what has been discussed here will ever be spoken about, so this rule. I'll court-martial every one of you if it does. Then have you executed by a firing squad and buried in an unmarked grave.
Sir, the following is a recording that Agent Redding and Agent Buss found in the archives that came along with the files that they presented to you. If it's okay with you, we'll go ahead and run that.
You see, there was, during my travels out west, a fur chopper named Bowman, as most of you have probably read in one of my wildlife books that came out in the past 2 years. I must tell you the truth, gentlemen, there was no Bowman. I was Bowman. This monster killed one of my friends, and I tracked it down and killed it. It is now inside the upside-down skyscraper underneath the public library here in D.C. And gentlemen, brace yourselves. I would like for you to see a living specimen of that same hair-covered creature.
You see, I was only told these things existed, but I never believed it.
Turn that bullshit off right now. Gentlemen, what the hell are these creatures?
Mr. President, Vice President Johnson is asking questions about this meeting, sir.
Don't tell Johnson a damn thing until I get that report. He will have every Texan killing one another looking for these things shit.
Sir, this is getting out of control. You must let the Joint Chiefs of Staff put something into place to deter or destroy these monsters.
Is it possible to just kill them all and be done with the entire thing?
Now that is forward thinking, sir. We do have a few plans drawn up. None have been actually field tested.
But here we go again with this shit.
But we are confident that at least one of them will be enough to put a dent in their activity.
Sir, our people have put together figures that guarantee civilian casualties will be low.
No, there will be no civilian casualties taken into consideration in the handling of these monsters.
Now, if you just hear us out on this.
God damn it all to hell, I said no.
Sir, I don't believe there is a way to eliminate all of these creatures.
Well, how in the blazing hell do they go unseen so long by so many people?
There's never been a time in American history that there hasn't been massive reports of these creatures, sir. It's just all been swept under the rug.
Holy shit, this is complete madness. Where are these things located?
These same records show, sir, that they are literally everywhere. We thought at first that they weren't in some desert areas in the United States, but we were wrong in that as well. They're everywhere, sir.
How long has this been covered up?
Mr. President, from everything that young Agent Bush and Agent Redding have pieced together. So they've always been here since before the Indians, even.
Mr. President, they are the true reason Roosevelt started the national park system.
Getting it all to hell, Roosevelt. Listen, I want a full report on the extent of our knowledge of these monsters in my office.
We are sincerely sorry that we don't have more to present you, Mr. President.
Sir, we just got a call that there's a bogey at Bohemian Grove.
We apparently have a problem around the area where they conduct that stupid party on the West Coast. To go in there with force is to expose the American people to a side of this country no one can control. To leave it be as the deaths of American citizens and building up the demonic courage of the already inflated satanic politicians. It stays like this that I miss old Icon. I would know exactly what to do. This one may indeed need to be left to a future generation. This brave new world is the living shit sometime.
Because of your blatant disregard for the protocols that are put in place to save lives, a good man, agent named Keith, was laid to rest in Arlington Cemetery.
What have you done?
Your ledger will be opened and this infraction shall be documented. Hunter Field Agent 619.
What do you mean? What have you done?
Given current circumstances, your customary suspension, as well as the fines incurred by breaking protocols, will be waived.
He left that area unharmed and was reporting into this facility, Redding.
We subsequently have bigger fish to fry.
Bigger than this cover-up?
And I need all hands on deck.
He's dead because of the samples I took from the werewolf.
All hands, Agent.
I suppose you need more of them cleaned up then. Probably leftovers from something you've had R&D develop. I've never known you to attempt covering something up.
There's only a few questions I have for you, Agent. Has anyone outside of the agency analyzed the data from the sample you stole from the creature in Kentucky?
No one but myself has even seen them. Not even Keith.
Where is the sample right now?
Given current circumstances, it is somewhere safe, somewhere hidden.
That was a harrowing escape, wouldn't you say, field agent?
Was it? 2 men escape, but only one lives. Don't patronize me, old man. Just tell me what we are killing next.
Yourself and your medic displayed very quick and decisive thinking in dealing with this man-wolf creature.
A toss-up between a shooter and a non-combatant. Is that what it boiled down to?
Disgusting Satan worshippers.
These wicked warlocks and sorcerers who transform themselves into these abominations. Keith was a better man than they could ever hope to be.
Heroic deeds and courage displayed between yourselves. You would have received a prestigious commendation from Chief Director Reagan. That is, if you were to have followed protocol. Such a shame that one person's mistake can cost someone who's innocent of the crime in question so very much. Protocols were broken, Hunter Field Agent.
So he's dead, even though it was me who took that sample and broke protocols.
Protocols contained within the contract you signed.
I'll play your game, Deputy Director Redding, until this is over, and then prison be damned. You'll give me the answers I want, even if I have to beat them out of you with my bare hands.
That is very discouraging, Hunter Field Agent. 619.
Big Tex.
There ain't no need whatsoever for us to cross swords over something like this.
Damn, partner. So you're the field agent who helped him. Never thought you'd be a part of something like this. What about the people that were killed? The guy in Kentucky. Who was he?
The people that were killed by them were targeted individuals.
Targeted by whom?
Targeted by myself with a few friends from the F.B.I.
Yeah, Winston, me, and Redding rounded them up with the F.B.I.
So you mean you kidnapped people?
They were Satanists, and if you saw what these people were doing to transform themselves into these wicked creatures, you would not feel sorry for them in the slightest, Winston.
The amount of these Satan-worshipping witches and sorcerers has grown beyond what we can ever know.
You understand? I trust Redding. He hadn't led us wrong yet, and he started this whole thing.
It was the early 1960s whenever the reins of this bureau we belonged to were taken away from the Central Intelligence Agency. They were withholding information regarding these wild beasts and usurping the resources that were allotted for the bureau and circumnavigating them through various financial channels into their black budget projects. I was one of their field agents back then with George Bush.
Sir, I'd like to sincerely apologize for not informing you of what we were doing.
As an agent of the Central Intelligence Agency, you aren't supposed to even check the mail without receiving a memo from my office.
Sir, I am sincerely sorry as well.
And you think I wouldn't be upset with you taking it upon yourselves to set up a meeting with the President of the United States?
Again, sir, we both apologize. It'll never happen
about
again.
These monsters that you weren't even supposed to believe exist. Agent Bush and Agent Redding, the both of you better come up with an explanation that doesn't infuriate me.
Excuse me, sir. President Kennedy said, tell the loudmouth asshole in the hallway to please be quiet. He is in an important meeting. He will see you very, very soon, sir.
Well, John, there's certain things that I can and can't tell you, but you seem to know an awful lot for a civilian.
You see, I was friends with the bureau chief back when it was under the Central Intelligence Agency. And I learned about these creatures directly from him. He actually allowed me access to the upside-down skyscraper and the library. That's when I went down and saw these beasts in the cage in the second basement.
Any information that you decide to share will be very, very kind of you, and I will make sure you're handsomely rewarded in some way.
Let me tell you, Jack, these things are something terrible.
Well, John, I do appreciate you sharing this information with me, and
it's no problem at all, Jack. What's that between old Shred?
I think it will come in very, very handy, as I'm the chief director, and it's directly under the executive branch now, you know, so.
Hopefully Redding over there can do a whole lot better job than his predecessor, though the predecessor was good.
Well, John, I didn't tell you that boy's name at all.
Caught me. No, you didn't. I forget where I picked up that little piece of information, no, Jack?
What's good old John Rockefeller? How you doing, old boy?
Well, look who it is. What's going on, LBJ?
What brings you to the White House this time? Soliciting funds for some make-believe charity? You gonna make a slush fund or something?
Yeah, I'm hitting up Jack for some money. Of course I am. There's always some trust fund or some ex-wife that needs money. You know how it goes. Well, actually, you don't.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time, Mr. Rockefeller. How you been?
Hopefully Lady Bird's doing well.
You know, I got another meeting coming up with Lyndon, John, so we'll have to pick this up some other time, but it's always great to see you.
Well, Jack, LBJ, it's always a pleasure. God bless y'all. And, we'll be in touch, Jack. I want to be hands-on as a citizen and a philanthropist with this Bureau of Cryptid Affairs, as I've been in the past. Of course, it's all up to you, Mr. Chief Director.
Now, see, this the shit I'm talking about. Now, what the hell kind of stuff is this, Jack?
Lyndon, I don't trust that son of a bitch any more than I can throw him. And that's not very far at all.
See, I told you these rich folks are just well-informed, Jack.
You know what I mean, Lyndon. As a matter of fact, how do you know so much about this?
Now, come on, Jack. You know good and well that man told me. John told me. So, let's get that out now. Let's stop playing crazy.
It's like I told you, those secret societies.
There you go with that secret society shit again, damn it.
Just like the CIA.
Jack.
They've been quite the fly in my buttermilk.
Now, here you go again. Why don't you just leave that alone? Let's go have a drink. You sit down and drink some of that gin you like, smoke you a hot joint. I know you drive. You don't think nobody know about that. I know. Smoke you a hot joint and just relax a little bit, Jack.
President Kennedy was fighting opposition from within his own staff on many different fronts, but after I found the Bureau's files down in the archives, I had Bush reach out to his White House contact to set up a meeting. This meeting would inevitably end with our independent Bureau of Cryptid Affairs as it stands today. Another was the discovery of what these wicked devil worshippers at Bohemian Grove are now attempting to bring into fruition. All the way back during Kennedy's White House, their strange occult practices led them to the belief that sacrificing one of the Bigfoot creatures would be a key for opening some portal. The wicked god Moloch would emerge physically and dwell among them. It started at the White House back in 1960 to the Winston. Now get up and get ready to fly into San Francisco.
Well, hot damn. You know what I seen out there in the hallway? You must have came in here to talk to you.
No, who did you see in the hallway, Lyndon?
That son of a bitch at Prescott Bush's kid. George or something like that.
Yeah, I had a meeting with the head of the CIA over there so I can shit-can him. And I don't know. Oh, yeah, the Bush kid was here for the Bureau thing.
I tell you what, them are some weird sons of bitches. You know his wife. Now, don't tell anybody I told you this, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it is. Personally, between me and you, Jack, I think it is.
What's that, Lyndon? Quit spreading rumors.
I heard that George Bush's ugly-ass wife is the daughter of Aleister Crowley.
Who? Aleister who?
Aleister Crowley, Jack.
What are you talking about, Lyndon? I don't know any Aleister Crowley.
Oh, you know, Jack, Aleister Crowley. He was back there in 1920-something. He climbed mountains. He supposedly threw his best friend off a mountain. Then he went and manned the pyramids, and he conjured some sort of a ghost or a demon off inside of his wife. It's conjured devils into his wife, Jack. Aleister Crowley, you remember it?
Maybe I know. That name rings a bell. I'm not quite sure who he is, but if he had anything to do with those Bushes, he is probably a Nazi.
Aleister Crowley, Jack, that old Satan worshiper that was working for the Brits back in World War I. World War II, around World War II, I think he died.
Well, I don't know if he fought in World War I or World War II, Lyndon. I don't know who you're talking about, but that doesn't help me understand any more of what are you talking about, Lyndon? What are you talking about, Lyndon?
I don't know, but the son of a bitch worships the devil just like them Bushes do.
Damn that kid, you're right. But no, I don't think you should be spreading those type of rumors there, Lyndon. I mean, I've heard that before as well, but that is what it is. Yeah, it's freedom of religion, they say.
I ain't spreading no rumors, goddammit. That's right. Everybody knows it. Everybody except for you, it seems.
What do you mean I didn't know about it? You're making assumptions now, Lyndon. I knew about it.
Oh, now all of a sudden you do.
I've heard that a place or two, but I just try to, leave a man to his own devices and let him worship the way he wants to. This is America. Everyone should be able and capable of practicing whatever religion they want, and you know how it goes. If they worship the devil, that's crazy, but they worship the devil. What can we do? is America. And see, I did good by picking the Redding kid. I think he was the better of the two choices anyways.
Well, I think you did right. I think that boy's a Presbyterian or Baptist maybe. But either way, Jack.
What does it matter whether he's a Protestant or a Catholic or a Presbyterian or a Baptist?
You know, we both worship the Lord Jesus Christ, but it's good to have a Protestant in that position to balance out that power.
What kind of power is he going to be balancing out that's both part of the executive branch of office? What do you think, he's going to be higher than the presidency? And nobody's going to know about it anyways, Lyndon. Who knows about this except us? And apparently John, goddamn Rockefellers. Who's going to know about it? No one knows about it.
It don't matter if nobody's going to know about it. I'll know about it.
Blackman, my brave knight.
Yes, my queen.
I have got an assignment for you in the States. There's a Russian defector that has been granted quarter by the Kennedy administration. This Russian red devil's stolen a book containing secrets about the hidden beasts of this world from the royal vaults. He's being hidden by two Yanks that work for our MI6 counterpart, this so-called Central Intelligence Agency. Agents Redding and Bush, I believe. We need this item back, and the Russian eliminated.
I understand wholeheartedly, ma'am. You shall give up the Russian, or I'll simply go around him to achieve the task set before me.
You have permission to eliminate anyone else who stands in your way of successfully completing this mission. Full license to kill. Failure is not an option. Sir Blackman, I have full faith in your resolve and confidence in your formidable skills, James. England prevails.
England prevails, my queen. Damn it, Jacob Redding! You silly and valiant son of a bitch. Hopefully you're not going to be a rebellious shit and actually cooperate.
What the head of Rockefeller? You're right not to trust him. Oh, rich son of a bitch. What the hell are you doing leaving me out there to talk to them stupid-ass aides? What do you got going on in here?
Take it easy, Lyndon. I did the best I could. You in here now talking to me, ain't you?
Jack, what the hell you got going on?
Well, listen. I was getting the ball rolling on that Bureau of Cryptid Affairs.
It's a what?
Yes, the Bureau of Cryptid Affairs, Lyndon.
The Bureau of Cryptid Affairs?
Have you ever heard of the hairy man, Bigfoot, woolly boogers, they call them?
Yeah, I've heard of the booger man. The wood boogers. They got some of them in Texas.
Yeah, well, there's other monsters that are just like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
LBJ, I'm not kidding you. And like I said, there's a whole lot more than just one. There's more than one type.
Well, they ain't everywhere.
They're in every landlocked state you can think of, my friend.
What do you mean they're in every landlocked state?
Yeah, they're in Texas everywhere. They're everywhere.
Holy shit, Jack.
Werewolves and gargoyles and all sorts of things. It's remarkable the things that were in the book and on those films that the wedding kid brought over. And it's you wouldn't believe it, Lyndon. You talk about werewolves and unicorns. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Then you have things such as the trolls and gnomes and the centaurs. Centaurs was in there, and to think that they were hiding this from us, that's a bunch of bullshit, Lyndon. Did you know anything about it?
No, what do you mean was I hiding anything from you? I was the one coming down here to ask about it. What the hell?
Are you sure, Lyndon? You wouldn't be lying to me, would you?
Jack, you're about a silly son of a bitch sometimes. You know that, don't you? I'm going to say it one more time, and I ain't going to say it again. Hell no, I didn't know about it. Why do you think I was raising so much hell because I couldn't get in there and figure out what was going on? You drunk? You been drinking that gin?
Well, I apologize, Lyndon.
Yeah, well, I accept your bullshit apology, but why would you think I'd be the one to know about this kind of stuff? That's crazy to me.
Well, Lyndon, you're the one that's friends with everybody on Capitol Hill. You've been up here a lot longer than me. I'm just asking questions, God.
Crazy son of a bitch.
You're not guilty of anything, just calm down.
Well, I think he's becoming a goddamn paranoid schizophrenic, but that's besides the point. No, I didn't know nothing. That's why I came in here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Well, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't tell nobody else about it. What is this bureau? Where is this bureau located then, Jack?
I don't plan on telling a whole lot of anybody about it, Lyndon. It's kind of the whole point of it. And believe it or not, Lyndon, it's, guess where? Under the library here in D.C.
Under the library?
You heard me right. Under the library. Isn't that wild?
Are you serious?
As serious as a heart attack.
That's where they've been this whole time?
That's where they've been this whole time, Lyndon.
Oh, bullshit. Jack, who told you that?
Lyndon, what do you mean who told me that? I went over there and checked it out, what was it, this morning? It's like 7 stories underneath the library. Believe it or not, it's like an upside-down skyscraper. They call it that, the upside-down skyscraper.
Under the library here in D.C.
What is this? What are you, a parrot all of a sudden? Yes, Lyndon, under the library in D.C.
Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. But anyways, John, I'll tell you what, though. Listen. There's some crazy shit going on down there. I can see it now. It just sounds like a bunch of madness. Dr. Frankenstein and all sorts of Joseph Mengele is probably down there. Remember old Joseph Mengele from World War II?
Yeah, Joseph Mengele better not be in there. You better not be in there and let me find out about it.
Yeah, Jack, they call him a Dr. Death, Joseph Mengele. He's probably down there, and you probably got Dr. Frankenstein down there.
Him and whoever hired him would be hanging from some sign on Pennsylvania Avenue. I can guarantee you that. Nazi sons of bitches.
Yeah, I was just kidding around, but if I found out Joseph Mengele was in there, I'd stomp his guts out of his butthole and then wrap him around his goddamn neck.
Well, take it easy, LBJ.
You're talking about this thing up at the library, and they're probably keeping them animals, them monsters, under the library too, Jack. And it's a bunch of zoo creatures that's the monsters, werewolves, unicorns, and all that type of stuff, Jack. I knew there was Lilliputers, but goddamn, Jack.
You gotta see these films, Lyndon.
I could have gone 28 years, and I could have gone 28 more years in life and not heard nothing like this before. I would have been better off not know.
Yeah, Lyndon, just be glad you're in here and relax.
Well, I don't know. But, if I was you, I'd just be careful about who I put in there and who I told about it. Because I don't think there's nothing good you don't come of it and nothing not mean. I just see more bad than good coming of something like this. And just, I keep close on if I was you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, though. I'll let you help me along with it. I'm the chief director, you know.
Well, you're the chief director. Well, ain't love grand.
I'll make some title for you or something.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go on ahead and pass the responsibility of this office over to me, and I'll be the chief director, and then you can deal with the Soviets and the Mafia and whatever else you'll mess with.
I'm not turning over shit to you, Lyndon. What are you talking about?
I don't want some made-up phony baloney title, Jack.
I'll let you come in on the meetings, but that's about it. Not everyone either. So don't expect to be sitting in on every single meeting we have. I want to hear you belly aching when you can't.
Chief Director.
I'll tell you what, we're going to make sure this Redding kid doesn't have the reins taken back by the CIA, whoever gets put in that place.
Well, I'll be more worried about the Mafia than CIA, but you better leave the CIA alone, too. You already fired old boy, and the guy behind him don't like you either. I'm just going to let you know, Jack.
I'll tell you what, Lyndon, it all stems back to these weirdo secret societies. Secret societies like John Rockefeller belongs to. He comes in here knowing far more than he should about this stuff, this cryptid stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't say anything, Jack, but I'll tell you the truth about it. I thought he was just a crazy old son of a bitch. He was saying weird shit. Stuff that I didn't think could be true, but I smiled and nodded my head, took that donation money.
Hey, no hard feelings, pal. I really do understand, Lyndon. Yeah, I grew up around these strange oddballs. You just can't have to know with these type of folks, you know. Some of them, like the Heinz family, like Heinz ketchup, they're all right, but then you get the Vanderbilts, and they're doing all sorts of strange rituals in cloaks in the middle of the woods, dance around fires, naked, witchcraft, and all that type of way.
You know how some of these rich people are. A lot of them inbred, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are inbred. That's the sad thing about it. Look at the Roosevelts.
Sometimes I don't think they brain for him, right? And I thought he was one of them.
Well, you know, what can you do? You know, donations are donations. You get what you get and don't throw a fit. I understand.
Turns out he's just crazier and shit, isn't it?
He says that he was a big money contributor towards the upside-down skyscrapers being built, and, yeah, it's very strange to me that he would know so much, being an average, everyday American, a civilian.
Rockefeller's about crazier than some bitch anyways. He's over there with them weirdos in Bohemian Grove, Jack. You know they invited you to go. I'm glad you didn't, because I went a couple of years, and, the first year you think it's just maybe they had a little bit too much cocaine or a little bit too much wine. But the second year you think to now what you see. Jack, look, I don't even want to go into what I seen, but I'm telling you, Rockefeller's a weirdo, a capital W.
Yeah, I heard of that Bohemian Grove. It turns out, now check this out, Lyndon. It turns out that a lot of these guys want to find one of these, what you call the woolly boogers of the Sasquatch creatures, they want to find one and sacrifice them at Bohemian Grove in front of that big owl, Baal or something they call it.
And it's Moloch, Jack. It ain't no Baal. Baal was old Mesopotamian god. I'm sorry, beg your pardon on that. It's old Babylonian god from the Bible. Don't you know no better than that? Baal, B-A-A-L. Don't you remember in the Bible it said, God said, don't let me catch y'all sacrificing y'all kids in that fire and throw them in the fire to Baal? I didn't tell you to do that. Don't you remember when it said that in the Bible?
Well, whatever. It's been a long time since I was in seminary, but you know what I was talking about when I said it.
But there's Baal, and there's Moloch, and Ashtaroth, or Isis they call it, and then King Nimrod's old lady. There's a lot of old-time gods and little g gods in the Bible that you can read about, Jack. And a lot of these rich folks believe in them. They pray to them. And I ain't going to go into what I think is going on. But I think me and you got on the same page with it. I think you know. So just be careful around them, Jack. Trying to sacrifice one of them things. How the hell they going to catch one anyways? Anyways, Jack. Yeah, you know, that's crazy you say that, Jack. Now check this out. Now listen now. Old John Rockefeller, who just left your office, that son of a bitch was telling me last year that they were looking for, guess what? One of those woolly boogers to sacrifice in front of the statue of Moloch.
See, Lyndon, that's what I'm talking about. Those weird shitheads. If I find out that they got one of those creatures from the woods, and I wouldn't care. I'd take Air Force One out to San Francisco, Lyndon, and I'd put the handcuffs on them myself.
Well, Jack, you better take Air Force One and part of the military with you, because there's a lot of them sons of bitches, and they got a lot of money, more than you do. And
I'd tell Redding straight up, if you find out that Rockefeller or those Vanderbilt kids or anybody else has anything to do with kidnapping one of these creatures that you've sworn to protect, I, as Chief Director of the Bureau of Cryptid Affairs, want to put the handcuffs on them personally, and I'd get on Air Force One, Lyndon.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't trust them. You say you don't trust them. Factor that Tom's 10, because they got resources and they got people where you wouldn't think they'd have some.
Those weird bastards.
I'm telling you, Jack, you just better be careful dealing with them, because they have more resources than you do, believe it or not, and there's more up than there are Kennedys. And them sons of bitches, the weird bastards, they'll have the milkman with a Tommy gun ready to mow you down when you go to the front door. Now, I know. I don't trust them. And like I say, I feel they're just all lost in the salts, half crazy. And really, this just makes them even crazier than if they didn't know what they were talking about.
Then that's where you get the secret societies coming into play. They just, they stick their nose in where it doesn't belong, and they have way more control over the goings-on of the American people than they should. Now, I'll tell you, there'll never be a time that these goddamn secret societies and these spy agencies that house them ever hide anything from the President of the United States again.
Is that what you've been telling yourself here lately, Jack? You really don't think that the top spy organization in the world is going to ever hide nothing from the Commander-in-Chief again? Yeah, Jack, you bet.
You know, it's just like the Mafia. My brother gets them under control, then I think we'll be cooking with gas.
Yeah, maybe he will, maybe he won't, but you better keep an eye on them. Because they're going to be gunning for him, Jack. You know that, don't you? Old Bush and them leftovers from that asshole that you just fired from the CIA. They're going to have it out for you and him. Why don't you just leave the Mafia alone, goddammit? I've told you I don't know how many times they're going to end up messing you up, Jack. They're going to mess you and Bob up. Now, I don't want to see it happen to you now. I've dealt with them down in Dallas and Houston. Why don't you just leave them their own devices and let the police do what the police does?
Well, my brother Robert has that under control, I think. He just now kind of gave Hoffa a shaking up. But you see, the Mafia, they're a secret society as well, man. You know, that, like in anything in society, there's good and there's bad. I think there's good elements within the Cosa Nostra, and there's bad elements.
Yeah, well, Jack, let me tell you something. You're messing with the CIA and you're messing with the Mafia. I suggest you leave them both alone and take a slow approach. You ain't been in office that long, you already picking fights with the biggest dogs in the yard. What the hell's the matter with you? You need to keep your ass out of Nevada, too, away from the monsters in Maryland Monroe. She probably gave you something, Jack. I hate to say that, but she's pretty nasty looking to me.
I want to put something in place, Lyndon. I don't know what yet.
You better put something in place. You better put something in place of your ass, because they after.
Either that or just ban the whole lot of them.
Now, you're talking crazy, Jack. Just calm down.
Blow 'em to the wind, scatter 'em to the wind.
Now I know good and damn well you've been drinking.
You remember how it says in the Bible, you throw the wheat up in the air, and what drops is the chaff, the tares. I'm going to make them tares, Lyndon.
Separating the wheat from the tares, Robert Dowville, you have been reading the Bible.
There's a delicate balance, Lyndon. I understand that.
The delicate balance is ass. They don't balance your ass on for your coffin if you keep playing with them. You messing with some monsters, Jack.
Lyndon, just relax, all right?
I'm trying my best to relax. I can't relax when you out there. What happens if we're in a motorcade together and you and your brother trying to be a fracking Dick Tracy and Batman or whoever you think you are, and they just start spraying the vehicle? Now, I'm with you. I know better than to mess with.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, but Queen Elizabeth II is on line 1 for you, sir. Whenever you're ready.
Well, Lyndon, you heard that one, didn't you? You don't care if I take that from the call from the Queen of England. Can I step out and, or actually, you need to step out. You're the one that came in here.
Yeah, sure, Jack. You got a call from the Queen of England. Next thing you know, you're gonna have one from Duke Ellington.
I'll talk to you a little bit later on, Lyndon. We'll get it all figured out.
Yeah, we do get it figured out, Jack. We got to figure out something. All right, Jack. You just try to take it easy and just remember what I said. Slow approach. Tell the Queen I said you can go to hell.
There was an elite British assassin named Sir James Blackman that was called into play after this point. He just happened to be my wife's older brother, as well as part of a select group of international soldiers chosen by Eisenhower. I was also a part of this group. We were put together in order to discreetly free American diplomats who were kidnapped by the Korean rebel army. It was kept quiet by all the world's press. These wicked devil worshippers will not stop until they accomplish their nefarious goal. Rockefeller, the Queen, and all the rest are still involved and still seek after these stolen documents. They must be stopped, gentlemen, at any cost.
A Russian. I'm not sure I understand what it is you're trying to say, buddy. Is this Russian a specific person, or you just need one for a stand-in?
Jacob, don't bullshit around. I know you are the handler.
You realize I'm not an agent anymore, right? I've settled for a simpler life before I settle down.
You will soon be my very own family, and I don't want to upset my sister. I just need a hint.
Let's not flim-flam one another, James. You're a good guy who's good at being a ruthless guy. My future wife and your only sister thinks that you hung the moon.
She's a good kid besides marrying an intelligent farm boy who's Presbyterian and a damn Southerner to boot. A man who, mind you, I've never even heard say one swear. Not even during Korea, Jake. Now watch you get shot through the damn thigh. You said gosh. Gosh, Jacob, I must confess as a proud Scotsman, that's madness, lad. Not shit or damn. Or even ours. Anyhow, you don't deserve my sister, Jacob. All that Bible reading and quoting in librarian tone of voice you have set aside. I've fought side by side with you in combat, mate. Deep down we both know that you're a butcher, just like me. That being said, Jacob, I'd rather it be you than any other man from here all the way back to the British Isles. On a more serious note, Jacob,
I won't turn him over to the crown. You can't expect me to give up a man and his family that I've been tasked with helping to integrate into American life.
that wouldn't be giving up your bloody defector. I'll be honest, Jake. This Russian has apparently stolen papers from Buckingham Palace regarding these monsters. You know, the ones that you now are in charge of keeping quiet. Or killing.
Well, you have come about that secret information in spite of only a handful of men on Capitol Hill even being aware of the position itself. I'm less than a month into the position. You were honest with me, so I will reciprocate. I personally presented President Kennedy with files regarding these beasts, but none that bore the royal insignia.
Well, shit.
Strange that at the height of this nuclear arms race between the US and Kremlin that this would be a priority of the Queen's.
I work for the Crown of England.
I understand and respect the fact that you are duty-bound to obey your Queen's orders, but Agent Bush is still his liaison, and I am finishing that assignment while taking care of the Bureau as its deputy director. Also, we could have written an entirely different book for covering these things in the amount of time it would take to retrieve the original, and no one would be hurt or killed for it. I think if the Queen could slow down and take a pragmatic approach to this dilemma, then the solution would happen organically.
To hell with it. I'll track him down the old school way. Nothing personal, Jacob. You understand what duty and taking an oath is all about.
I sincerely wished you'd let this matter be handled by someone else.
How about a shot of that good Scots whiskey you bust out on Easter Sundays?
Well, buddy, you realize it's not Easter yet, but why not? We can celebrate the upcoming wedding as well as peacefully resolving this issue regarding these papers.
You're a good man, Jacob. Better than me. I wish like hell that I could have your integrity. On behalf of our late father, I would like to say, welcome to the family. I give you my word that no matter what order I'm given, I will never cross swords with you.
By the way, I'm not a Presbyterian. I'm Southern Baptist, but I understand what you're trying to say.
What's the shit you're about to serve us up then, lad?
Well, James, that's a very unkind thing to say to your host and future family.
Bobcat pasta or something?
I don't know what bobcat pasta is, but this is a family recipe.
Bloody dirt floor rednecks.
Squirrel and dumplings.
Squirrel and dumplings? What in the holy hell does that mean? Those rats that lay in trees and chew up your attic. You are serving me those damn things, Jacob. Is that what this mess is then?
Yeah, James, I suppose you could call them that, but...
Attempted murder on a knighted agent of the crown is still hanging, Jake.
Wow, that's a bit of an exaggeration, and...
This stuff is.
Just eat and thank me by doing dishes.
Bloody hell, mate. Brother Jake, this is the best food I've had in all the United States. This is really those tree rats?
I can't put a big enough emphasis on the big mistake that JFK has made. Perhaps he could be persuaded to change his mind. What's the matter with President Kennedy? Can he see that I'm more like him than Redding?
The president is extremely short-sighted.
Redding grew up on a farm in Texas or Arkansas. He went to church with black people.
This young man getting this position over you is just a small hiccup.
The president has to see that he has made a grave error in putting this man over that bureau. I want that position from Redding. We were partners, yes, but...
Listen, Bush, it's like this. You have a place in Washington, D.C. You have a big place in Washington, D.C. But you have to keep your head down. You have to do what you're told. And we cannot ever think that you're telling people about our meetings. Not your wife, not your kid, no one. Not a soul.
I'll let the Joint Chiefs of Staff have my back, then I'm not going to worry about anything at all, sir.
Son, we understand what your gripe is.
We're partners, yes, but he's not cut from the same block that we are. It's just as simple as that.
We're not big fans of Redding either. That child of secessionist has no idea what he's doing. Neither does the president. I heard that he's going to be vacating the throne, and doing it very, very soon.
What could I do at this point? I'm just a lowly field agent.
Don't make any mistakes, and do your job.
Now, what the general is saying is absolutely true. There's going to be a space open for you very, very soon. There's a lot of moving parts to this machine, and we want you to be a part of it. We think it's crucial that you are a part of it. What do you say, son?
Yes, sir, I will do whatever the Joint Chiefs tell me.
Speaking of which, we have a new assignment for you. It's going to be down in Dallas.
Sir, I must ask, what is it you would like me to do?
Mr. President, Queen Elizabeth II is on the main line.
Greetings and salutations, Your Majesty. Hopefully, jolly old England is treating you well.
It's been a long time.
Right you are, Lizzie. It's been a long time.
You handsome devil. I truly wish this was a simple social call, but as I'm sure you are already aware, there's a Russian defector who's stolen documents from the royal vaults that's been given quarter in your country.
Right you are again, Your Highness.
You've known me since you were a little child.
So what, Lizzie? Do you want to go to war with one sleeper agent? One sleeper agent that I might add has been an American citizen for quite some time.
To avoid you and I being at odds, I suggest your administration fully cooperate with his arrest and deportation to England.
This is craziness, Lizzie.
This Russian dog has documents that belong to the Empire.
I don't give a shit, Your Highness. Sounds to me like a bit of a personal problem.
Jack, your attitude doesn't make matters any better for him. You can't expect me to allow him to steal from the crown and go unpunished simply because you have given him quarter.
I'm not turning over information to you or anyone else about a soldier who's traded sides for Uncle Sam.
Just like a colonialist to be rebellious against their greatest friends.
I will tell you this, that soldier's information has been invaluable to us.
The bloody information he provided you isn't my concern.
This has something to do with these beasts, doesn't it?
Yes, the documents are. You're over 1,000 years old, and they concern these beasts.
Well, Lizzie, old friend, I'm afraid I'd just stay out of Robin Hood Forest, or whatever it's called, if I were you, and forget about it.
This man will be locked in the Tower of London for the remainder of his days whenever we catch him. You will have yourself to thank for that.
I suppose we will just have to agree to disagree, Your Majesty. I've never in my life heard of such a wicked deception by so-called leaders.
How dare you insult the Queen with your non-compliance?
Not even in those nickel detective comics I would read as a child.
You will turn over the Russians just immediately.
King George does not run this show anymore, and I'm not giving up anyone in this country to you, whether they be guest or citizen.
Non-compliance will force my hand to activate my agent, who as we speak is in your country on holiday.
Oh, is that right? Well, Your Highness, upon the assassin's inevitable capture and incarceration, he'll fall into a very thoroughly documented depression, which will unfortunately lead him to taking his own life. Suicide by the most painful method imaginable, Lizzie.
You insolent American dog, you will turn over the Russians to us, so my agent will hunt him down as if he's a fox.
Lizzie, this phone call will be the end of it. And it'll be the end of the entire matter. You know why? Because you just told on yourself, Lizzie, and I'm your friend. I want to protect you, you see.
Jack, my agent, will find this Russian and will not be arrested. It's as simple as that, and then this door of ugliness will be far behind us, old friend.
Well, seeing as how, if it did go further than this conversation, I have knowledge as the President of the United States that you have had knowledge that injuries and possibly even deaths have occurred from the hands of these creatures, and the government, your government, the monarchy, has covered them up, according to you, for at least 1,000 years. Enough for you to call this office and have sleeper agents of your own somewhere in this country to assassinate this guest.
I promise you this shall not be forgotten, nor shall I forgive.
Well, Lizzie, you just take it easy and go soak in a bathtub full of blood or something. And mean old witch ain't gonna bully me around. What do I look like, Franklin D. Roosevelt? Where's that damn Redding kid? Let's get this over with.
President Kennedy, I am sorry for approaching you without the proper permission.
Redding, I heard you're quite the firecracker.
I take full responsibility, sir. It was me who found the documents regarding these monsters in the CIA archives. Agent Bush had contacts within your secretaries to set up the meeting.
You won't be reprimanded, neither will the Bush kid. Listen, you are the Deputy Director of the Bureau of Cryptid Affairs, which will fall under the executive branch of government. Son, you will answer only to me, the Chief Director, according to the documents that you found.
Mr. President, this is a very shocking and surprising development.
You will run the day-to-day operations, and will share power equal to that of this office.
Sir, I don't know what to say.
Your abilities to use both civilian and military resources cannot be superseded by any government entity outside of the Chief Director, which is the President of the United States. I assure you, son, they don't want a damn thing to do with anything regarding these crazy monsters.
I gratefully accept, sir.
Unlike my predecessors, I will not have this information controlled solely by the Central Intelligence Agency, not shall the Department of the Interior hold sway. There won't be compartmentalization either.
I will not fail you.
If it weren't for you and Bush, I would not have known the organization even exists.
I just didn't think it was right that this was being hidden from you, especially whenever all other presidents had this knowledge turned over to them.
And I'm grateful for it. The opposition I receive from my own staff is crazy. You will now share in the powers of this office.
I thought I'd be fired for sure.
Lead this new bureau with courage and commitment, and your men will inevitably follow you into war.
This bureau will be brought back from obscurity the Central Intelligence Agency has placed it. Mr. President, and oh yes, I apologize, Chief Director, I will absolutely bolster the ranks and offices with dedicated men who will be fearless in the face of these strange beasts and protect this country's citizens from them while maintaining the integrity of the ecosystems where they dwell.
I'd like to be the first to congratulate you on gaining the position of Deputy Director of the Bureau of Cryptid Affairs.
I promise that I'll do my best to protect the citizenry of this great land from these monsters.
Well, in any event, son, you have the top spot now. He's a good kid, isn't he?
Yes, sir. He seems to be a fine young man. I think he'll be great for the position.
I think he's going to go a long way and do something very special with this thing.
Hopefully he doesn't receive much interference when going through what he has to go through to get that place in order.
Where's that Bush kid, Walt?
I'm not quite sure, sir. He's been sitting out in the hall for a while, though.
You know that's Prescott Bush's kid, right?
Yes. Good old Prescott Bush. Banker to the Nazis, traitor to his country.
Yeah, that old Nazi banker. Hitler's little boyfriend. And they're both Skull and Bones members and Yale alumni.
I heard he was calling himself God.
after the biblical Gog and Magog.
What the hell does that tell you about those two? Prescott Bush. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
Today is the day we will receive the great beast for our annual gathering.
These poachers come highly recommended by the businessman Carmine Branukshi. He's not a member of our hallowed camp, but he is a very adventurous and earnest entrepreneur in the field of these hidden monsters.
That is such outstanding news. The poachers will be delivering the beast any moment now.
Hell yes! Another great year and a wonderful career in Hollywood, and it's all thanks to Moloch. It is a phenomenal day indeed. I sincerely hope they hurry up, though.
Then we can begin to prepare for the ceremonial powers are absolutely begin to shift.
Isn't there certain rituals that need to be performed by you on the monster before it's presented to Moloch?
According to the ancient texts and documents, the lunar clock is right on time for what the ancient druids and masters call the great giving unto the gods.
Then the master can walk amongst us.
With sacrificing this young one of the wild men of the forest, we shall solidify the foothold Anton LaVey has fought so hard to secure.
These poachers better hurry up with this creature, though. Well, damn it. These idiot redneck poachers always have some sort of nonsense going on. I'll go to the main lodge and shoot the dad a call. Gentlemen, excuse me.
Yes, these poachers should have been here by now. This is completely unacceptable, and I will personally negotiate a discount for their tardiness. Well, we will have the beast. I guarantee you that, High Priest. These poachers are the best in the entire United States, though they are late, which is unacceptable.
No chickens this year. This time it's the big show.
What do you think, Worshipful Master?
I say that if we continue this course, then for the first time in American history, there's a real chance to forge a new world order. In that way, the laws of man, us, not the laws of the jungle with these beasts, will govern the affairs of man, and Moloch's spirit shall dwell within him.
Yes, Lyndon, what the hell do you want?
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt your sleep, big boy, but I figured you'd be the first one to want to hear that Russian sleeper agent that you was talking about is cutting and gone in the wind. And guess who's on his trail? That MI6 agent.
Do what now? Well, where's Redding at? He's supposed to know about this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm the chief director, but he's supposed to be running that show over there. What's he got going?
Well, Redding's on the trail, too. He's got a couple of agents with him. I think one of them got shot by this British guy.
God damn it.
That agent, an MI6 dude.
Well, wait a minute. Lyndon, what the hell? How do you know about any of this? You're not supposed to be privy to this information. When the hell told you about this, Lyndon?
Well, Jack, I figured you'd want to know, and I mean, I can't disclose right now how I knew that.
Lyndon, listen.
Well, Jack will just go on and get you some rest, and we'll talk about it early in the morning. It's almost morning time now. You want to go get some coffee?
Lyndon, it's 3:17 in the morning. No, I don't want any coffee. What's the matter with you? I want to go back to bed. You made me come all the way downstairs for that?
Oh, Jack, you're a young man. You acting like you're 80 years old. Come on upstairs and get some coffee.
You're in the White House. Are you serious?
Why, hell yeah, I'm in the White House.
Why would you come to the White House and not just come to my bedroom or get one of the aides to wake me up?
Well, Jack, I figure I'd just make it more convenient for you.
I had to come all the way downstairs to the level 2 basement.
We'll take it easy, Jack.
Son of a bitch.